You wake up. What's the first thing you do? Before your feet even touch the floor, your hand reaches for something. It's your phone. You tell yourself it's just to check the time or the weather, but then you're scrolling, endlessly scrolling through feeds, updates, notifications. A quick check turns into 10 minutes, then 20. This small, seemingly harmless action is a thread. It's a tiny, almost invisible thread that connects you to a device, a habit, a feeling. Now think about other threads in your life. The morning coffee you can't function without. The constant need for a partner's approval. The reliance on a substance to unwind after a long day. These aren't just preferences. They are dependencies. Dependency isn't a word we like to use. It feels heavy. It sounds like a weakness, a personal failing that only affects a specific type of person. But that's not the truth. Dependency is a fundamental part of the human experience, a spectrum we all exist on. It's the powerful, unseen force that shapes our daily routines, our emotional responses, our biggest life decisions. It's the invisible chain that can provide a sense of stability, or it can hold you back from your true potential. Understanding this force isn't about placing blame or feeling shame. It's about gaining awareness of the patterns that quietly govern your existence. The world today is engineered to create these dependencies. Every app is designed to keep you engaged. Every product is marketed to become an indispensable part of your life. Attention, emotions, behaviors, all constantly being pulled in different directions by outside forces. This makes it more critical than ever to understand what dependency truly is. This isn't just an abstract concept, it has real, tangible consequences. Productivity, relationships, mental health, your overall sense of freedom, when you feel like you need something outside of yourself to feel whole, to feel happy, or even just normal. You are giving away a piece of your power. This dependency can feel like a safety net, but often it's a cage you've unknowingly built around yourself. The good news is that every cage has a key. Recognizing the bars is the very first step toward finding it. In this discussion, we will illuminate these invisible chains so you can finally see them for what they are and begin the process of breaking free. So, how do you break a pattern that has become so deeply ingrained in your life? It feels like a monumental task, an impossible mountain to climb. The internet is filled with advice that often misses the mark. It tells you to just stop or to rely on sheer willpower. This approach almost always fails because it ignores the deep-seated psychological and emotional roots of dependency. It treats the symptom, not the cause. The result is a frustrating cycle of trying and failing, reinforcing the belief that change is impossible. This common narrative is not only unhelpful, it's fundamentally wrong. You don't need more willpower, you need a better strategy. This is where our journey together truly begins. We are going to dismantle the old, broken ideas about dependency and replace them with a clear, actionable framework. First, we will expose the myth, the powerful lie that dependency is a sign of weakness. By shattering this misconception, we open the door to a more compassionate and effective approach to change. We will show you why your previous attempts may have failed and why it wasn't your fault. Next, we'll dive into the steps. This is the core of our promise. A 13-minute fix that sticks. We will break down the process of building healthy independence into small, manageable actions you can start implementing today. These aren't drastic, life-altering changes. Tiny shifts in your daily routine, small experiments in behavior, new ways of thinking that compound over time. You will learn how to identify your triggers, rewrite your habit loops, build a support system that fosters growth instead of reliance. This is about working smarter, not harder, to reclaim your autonomy. You'll walk away with a toolkit of strategies to start taking back control today. This isn't a magic pill, but it is a proven roadmap. A guide to understanding the invisible forces that shape you, and a blueprint for building a more intentional, empowered, and free version of yourself, one small step at a time. The path forward exists, and it starts right now. There's a powerful story we've been told our entire lives. It's a myth so deeply embedded in our culture that we rarely stop to question it. The myth is this: true strength means standing completely on your own. It whispers that needing help, leaning on others, relying on anything outside of yourself is a sign of personal failure. The idea paints a picture of the ideal person as an island, self-sufficient, unshakable, completely independent. We see this character celebrated in movies, praised in business, and upheld as the ultimate goal. To be strong, we believe, is to be invulnerable, to need nothing and no one. This is the great lie of modern independence. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex was a successful graphic designer, known for his creativity and relentless work ethic. From the outside, he was the embodiment of the self-made ideal. He prided himself on never asking for help. He believed that relying on his team was a sign that he couldn't handle the pressure. This philosophy had earned him promotions and respect, but it was quietly eroding his life from the inside. He was constantly exhausted, anxious, and felt a growing sense of isolation. To cope, Alex developed a routine. Every evening, he would pour himself a glass of whiskey. Just one, he told himself. One glass became two, two became three. The alcohol became his only confidant. He was trapped in a paradox. His fierce pursuit of independence had led him into a deep, unhealthy dependence on a substance. He was going it alone, but he had never felt less in control of his own life. Alex's story is not unique. It is the story of millions who have bought into the myth that they must bear their burdens in silence. He was stuck in a feedback loop. The stress from his self-imposed isolation fueled his need for alcohol, and the shame from his drinking pushed him further into isolation. Alex didn't need more discipline. He needed to dismantle the belief that asking for help was a weakness. He needed to learn how to depend on people in healthy ways. It's about having the courage to reject the myth and embrace the very thing it tells you to avoid: connection. The myth of self-reliance doesn't just feel wrong, it is scientifically wrong. It runs contrary to our deepest biological programming. Attachment theory demonstrated that from the moment we are born, we are hardwired to seek proximity to others. This isn't a childish trait we are meant to outgrow. Our brains are built to connect. A revealing 2015 study found that holding a partner's hand can reduce the brain's alarm response to stress. When we try to go it alone, we are fighting our own neurology. That forces us toward other, often less healthy coping mechanisms. A dopamine hit from social media, a temporary numbness from alcohol. True strength isn't needing no one. True strength is the security of healthy attachments. The myth of the lone wolf is just that, a myth. In reality, wolves survive because they are part of a pack. Now that we've shattered the myth, we can look at it with clear eyes. Dependency isn't one single thing. It wears many different masks. The most common type is emotional dependency. This is when you rely on another person to determine your self-worth. Your happiness becomes tethered to someone else's moods. Next, practical dependency. It's the belief you can't handle certain daily tasks without help. Practical dependency prevents development of essential life skills. Third, digital dependency. Compulsive reliance on smartphones, phantom vibration in your pocket. This isn't just a habit. It's engineered by design. Finally, substance dependency. Physical and psychological reliance on a substance to change how you feel. Alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, other drugs. Understanding these four phases lets you name the problem and start to address it. Dependency is a habit. To understand how it develops, we need to look at the habit loop. This loop has three parts. Cue, the trigger that sends your brain into automatic mode. It's the starting pistol for dependent behavior. Routine, the behavior itself. Initially, the routine is a conscious choice. Repetition makes the behavior automatic. Reward, the part that tells your brain this loop matters. For dependency, the reward is a temporary change in your state. That immediate reward strengthens the cue to routine connection. Cue, routine, reward, the engine of dependency. Over time, your brain stops choosing. It just runs the program. Understanding this anatomy is empowering. You don't need superhuman will to change it. You need to learn how to re-engineer the loop. The journey to reclaim your independence does not begin with a grand, dramatic gesture. The first step is much smaller. It is the simple act of creating a pause, a tiny sliver of time, between the cue and your automatic routine. This pause is where your power lies. It's to simply notice it without immediately acting. You learn that the urge is just a sensation. It is a wave of energy that rises, peaks, and eventually subsides, all on its own. You prove to yourself that you can survive the discomfort. Start practicing this today. Identify one dependent habit. When the cue hits, commit to pausing for just 5 seconds. The victory is not in resisting the behavior. The victory is in creating the pause. With every pause, you weaken the automatic link between cue and routine. You are carving out a space for choice, the foundation upon which all lasting change is built. Section 2. The small experiment. Once you have mastered the pause, it's time to use that space to run small, low-stakes experiments. Your cue is feeling lonely in the evening. Your automatic routine is to mindlessly scroll. After you pause, run an experiment. For tonight's experiment, instead of opening Instagram, you will put on one of your favorite songs. The next night, your experiment might be to stretch for 5 minutes. The night after, it might be to write down 3 things you are grateful for. After each experiment, you need to consciously check in and assess the reward. It's important to acknowledge any positive outcome, no matter how small. This helps your brain register that this new routine also leads to a reward. You are teaching your brain that there are multiple paths to feeling better, not just the one worn-out, dependent path. By collecting a series of small wins, you build momentum and self-efficacy. You are not breaking a habit. You are simply exploring new ones and seeing what fits. Section 3. Re-engineering the loop. It's time to consciously re-engineer your old habit loop. Create a simple script for yourself. Write this plan down. Every time you successfully execute your new routine, you are strengthening a new neurological pathway. You are literally rewiring your brain's default response. Be prepared for setbacks. This is not a failure. It is data. Every slip-up is an opportunity to refine your strategy. Section 4. Build your scaffolding. To make change that truly sticks, you need to build a strong support system around you. This scaffolding is made of people, environments, skills that hold you up. It is the strategic construction of a life that supports the person you want to become. We've covered a lot of ground. We started by tearing down a powerful, destructive myth. We built a clear, practical path forward. It all begins with the power of the pause. The journey is not a straight line. The goal is to become the conscious architect of your life. It's about trading the invisible chains of compulsion for the supportive tethers of conscious interdependence. So, what is your call to action today? It's simple. Don't try to change everything at once. Just choose one thing. Your only task for the rest of today is to practice the pause. Breathe. Notice the urge without judgment. That's it. That is your 13-minute fix. This small act of awareness is the first step on the path to freedom. It is the first day of your new, more intentional life. The power has been inside you all along. Now you know how to access it.